The opening scene is a hypnotic, tension-filled dialogue between a French farmer and a Nazi Jew hunter, where every word drips with tension.
You're sheltering them underneath your floorboards, aren't you?
Yes.
When I write my scripts, I start with the first scene and then just go through the story.
This is Quentin Tarantino, and this is his film Inglourious Basterds. And this is the opening scene, widely regarded as one of the best opening scenes in cinematic history. But what makes it so great? Climax? Yes. Storytelling?
One of my strengths is my storytelling, because I actually am committing to telling a story.
Definitely. Characters? Certainly. But there's something more. The opening scene plays a crucial role in a film because it often determines, for the average viewer, how they feel about continuing to watch. The opening scene primarily sets the tone and mood. It gives the audience a sense of what to expect from the rest of the film and what genre it will be.
Here I come. Here I come.
It introduces the main characters, their personalities, helping viewers understand who is who and what their motivations are. Additionally, it presents the theme and motifs, giving hints about the film's deeper meanings and issues. But for me, the opening scene serves an even more important role. It offers us a gateway into the world the director wants to show us, and through it, the audience decides whether they want to immerse themselves in it further. And Tarantino does all of this brilliantly. Inglourious Basterds, according to Tarantino's script, is divided into 5 chapters, and will focus on the first chapter, which is dedicated to the opening scene titled Once Upon a Time in Nazi-Occupied France. The scene is very long, lasting a full 19 minutes and 13 seconds, and a lot happens within it, so let's break it down into 5 stages. One more important thing you might not know, but it's very interesting. Many films follow a concept called the 3-act structure. For those unfamiliar with the term, the 3 acts are the introduction, development, and resolution of a story. It's a classic storytelling model widely used in screenwriting and an effective way to structure a narrative. While this model is often used to present an entire story in many films, in Inglourious Basterds, this entire structure is visible within the opening scene itself. The scene not only introduces us to the film, but serves as a nearly standalone, self-contained story, almost like a film within a film. I'll be showing you throughout the discussion of this scene exactly where we are in the 3-act structure. Okay, now let's move on to the scene in the first stage. The scene starts with a beautiful rural landscape where we see the farmer Lapadite with his daughters. This idyllic picture is quickly disrupted by the arrival of vehicles. The family's reaction and the rising music immediately signal danger. However, a note in the script sheds additional light on this moment. After living for a year with the sword of Damocles suspended over his head, this may very well be the end. This sentence is a metaphor for the constant threat. It refers to Greek mythology, specifically the story of Damocles, who lived in perpetual uncertainty with a sword hanging over his head. In Lapadite's context, this means he has lived in fear for a year, and now, as danger approaches, he feels his time is running out. Sensing the danger, the father tells his daughters to hide inside the house. He, meanwhile, washes his face, symbolizing his preparation for the crucial confrontation ahead. The Nazis arrive at his home, and stepping out of the vehicle is the character many consider one of Tarantino's best-written antagonists.
Colonel Hans Landa.
Pay attention to the moment when Lapadite shakes his hand. The script emphasizes that it's a German hand, showing Lapadite's internal revulsion toward Landa, which he cannot openly express. This subtle but powerful detail tells us a lot about the strained relationship between the occupier and the occupied. Hans Landa enters the farmer's home politely but with an underlying tension. He is introduced to Lapadite's daughters. On their faces we see one thing: uncertainty, and the Nazi soldiers standing by the window only intensify the feeling of danger.
Suzanne, tu veux bien aller chercher du vin pour le colonel?
Mais non, merci beaucoup, monsieur. La petite pas de vin. Puisque nous sommes sur une exploitation laitière, je suppose, sans risque de me tromper, que vous avez du lait?
Oui.
Alors, je préfère du lait.
Très bien.
Why does Landa refuse wine and ask for milk? The answer may be more significant than it seems. It's known that the French poisoned selected bottles of wine out of fear of German looting. Milk, being a less likely target for sabotage, wasn't poisoned, suggesting Landa is not easily fooled by tricks. A particularly important moment is the way Landa looks at Charlotte. It's part of his psychological game. As an effective detective, he can notice details others might miss. The glances exchanged between the father and daughter make it clear that this visit does not bode well.
Now, everything Landa does, he is a detective. That's first and foremost where he's coming from. He's a detective. And everything he does, his scenes are basically almost all interrogation scenes.
Monsieur, à votre famille et à vos vaches, je dis bravo.
Merci.
Je vous en prie, venez me rejoindre à votre table.
After Landa suggests the daughters leave the room, the cat-and-mouse game begins.
Monsieur Lapadite, je suis au regret de vous informer que j'ai épuisé l'étendue de mon français. Continuer à le parler si peu convenablement ne ferait que me gêner. Cependant, je crois savoir que vous parlez un anglais tout à fait correct, n'est-ce pas?
Oui.
Ma foi, il se trouve que moi aussi. Puisque nous sommes ici chez vous, je vous demande la permission de passer à l'anglais pour le reste de la conversation.
This is a clever move by the detective, putting Lapidite in a situation where it's harder for him to lie.
Well, I'm very familiar with you and your family. I have no way of knowing if you are familiar with who I am. Are you aware of my existence?
Yes.
This is good. Are you aware of the job I've been ordered to carry out in France?
Landa asks his questions in a way that makes him seem harmless, as if he just wants Lapidite to cooperate.
Yes.
Please tell me what you've heard.
Instead of directly accusing him of hiding Jews,
I've heard that the Führer has put you in charge of rounding up the Jews left in France, who are either hiding or passing for Gentile.
Landa makes the conversation feel relaxed, only looking for confirmation of what he already knows.
The Führer couldn't have said it better himself.
This gives Lapidite the illusion that he can avoid disaster simply by answering honestly. But let's not forget who Landa is. His goal is to break his opponent's psyche. By asking Lapidite for the truth, he places him in a situation where the tension and pressure become unbearable, all while underlining the true purpose of his visit. Landa pulls out papers from his briefcase, making it seem like his visit is merely bureaucratic.
But like any enterprise, when under new management, there's always a slight duplication.
His home had been searched before without success, and now he just has to answer a few questions to help locate the Jewish family.
Now, before the occupation, there were 4 Jewish families in this area, all dairy farmers like yourself. The Dolarac, the Roland, the Lavitte, and the Dreyfuses. Is that correct?
To my knowledge, those were the Jewish families among the dairy farmers. Would it disturb you if I smoked my pipe?
Oh, please, Monsieur Lapidite, this is your house. Make yourself comfortable.
Once again, the illusion of hope, making it seem like Lapidite has any control over what's happening.
The Jewish families in this area have been accounted for, except the Dreyfuses. Somewhere in the last year, it would appear they've vanished, which leads me to the conclusion that they've either made good their escape or someone is very successfully hiding them. What have you heard about the Dreyfuses, Monsieur Lapidite?
Only rumors.
I love rumors. Facts can be so misleading. Were rumors true or false are often revealing. So, Monsieur Lapidite, what rumors have you heard regarding the Dreyfuses?
Lapidite calmly answers questions about the Jewish family, which at first glance creates the illusion that the situation is under control and the tension has eased.
And Shoshana?
And Shoshana was 18 or 19. I'm not really sure.
But in reality, the opposite is true. After more than 12 minutes of tension, we discover the truth.
Well, I guess that should do it.
The Dreyfus family is hiding under the floorboards, and all of Lapidite's assurances of ignorance are lies. In the script, we learn more about the hiding family. These human beings are the Dreyfuses, who have lived lying down underneath the dairy farmer's house for the past year. But one couldn't call what the Dreyfuses have done for the last year living. This family has done the only thing they could, hidden from an occupying army that wishes to exterminate them. When Landa finishes his formalities and is about to leave, he asks for a glass of milk.
Are you aware of the nickname the people of France have given me?
assist in such things.
But you're aware of what they call me.
And his question about the nickname again highlights his authority.
I'm aware.
And everything he does is some version of an interrogation, and every piece of interrogation is a piece of theater or a mind game with the participant.
Did they call you the Jew hunter?
Precisely.
Landa, known as the Jew Hunter, proudly emphasizes that he is an effective hunter because he can think like a Jew, not just like a German.
I, on the other hand, love my unofficial title, precisely because I've earned it.
He compares Germans to predatory hawks and Jews to rats, which brutally shows the disdain Germans had for Jews during World War II.
You don't like them. You don't really know why you don't like them. All you know is you find them repulsive.
The comparison of Jews to rats continues for 2 pages of the script, but the Jew Hunter doesn't seem ready to leave the house just yet.
Cur to hawk to hide.
Suddenly, Landa reveals why he was chosen for this role.
However, the reason the Führers brought me off my Alps in Austria and placed me in French cow country today is because it does occur to me. Because I'm aware what tremendous feats human beings are capable of once they abandon dignity.
He openly admits that he's exceptional at his craft, as if he knows more than we might suspect.
May I smoke my pipe as well?
What if Landa doesn't smoke a pipe? He knows the farmer smokes a pipe.
Please, Colonel, make yourself at home.
You know, so maybe he doesn't smoke a pipe at all. It's simply just an interrogation technique to throw the farmer, send him more to hell.
Lapidite's body language and facial expressions show his helplessness and desperation, evoking sincere sympathy from the viewer.
My job dictates that I must have my men enter your home.
Lapidite knows he's powerless. This scene underscores Landa's authority.
And conduct a thorough search before I can officially cross your family's name off my list. And if there are any irregularities to be found, rest assured there will be. That is unless you have something to tell me that makes the conducting of a search unnecessary.
At this key moment, the camera for the first time focuses on the characters' faces, signaling the approaching climax. Lapidite slowly breaks under the pressure, while Landa, like a hawk, watches every move.
You're sheltering enemies of the state, are you not?
Yes.
You're sheltering them underneath your floorboards, aren't you?
It's terrifying how subtly Landa removes his mask of charm,
Yes.
revealing his true, terrifying nature.
Point out to me the areas where they're hiding.
This is the pivotal moment. Lapidite completely surrenders as Landa successfully breaks his resistance. Landa has achieved his goal. He pretends to leave while in reality, he lets his soldiers in. The entire scene was played out in silence, heightening the tension. But now the music fully underscores the drama of the situation.
Adieu.
The scene breaks the heart, not only because of the massacre of the family, but also because of the murder of Lapidite's soul, forcing him to choose between the lives of his family and his honesty and compassion. The entire Dreyfus family is brutally murdered, but their daughter manages to escape. Surprisingly, Landa ultimately doesn't kill Shoshana. It seems he knows that their paths will cross again. So he merely bids her farewell.
Au revoir, Shoshana!
The scene in Inglourious Basterds not only introduces the main antagonist, Colonel Hans Landa, but also immerses us in the brutal realities of World War II, while maintaining Tarantino's signature elements, such as intriguing dialogue and tension. Christoph Waltz, playing Landa, not only portrays a cold, intelligent, and ruthless character, but also transforms Landa into a unique, charming figure who simultaneously evokes terror. His performance is a true masterpiece, and the way he builds tension and psychologically manipulates Lapidite is fascinating. Denis Ménochet's performance is equally remarkable, as he submits to Landa's manipulations with equal intensity. His reactions and emotional degradation under pressure are incredibly convincing, further emphasizing the power of this scene. Tarantino masterfully utilizes his unique ability to build tension through dialogue and subtle narrative techniques. Landa's pipe, the language switch, and the final revelation about the Dreyfus family create a complex, emotionally engaging picture.
This movie fucking works.